Hi guys.
Hey, what's up?
Welcome back to our channel. I hope you're well.
Hope you're well as well. Guys, look, you know when your fashion game is going up? It's when your wife copies you.
Yes,
and your wife is actually a fashion blogger, ting. Come on.
James has pulled out the denim jacket, so I pulled out the denim jacket too. I had to open the windows before I get too hot.
Feeling kind of good today, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so guys, as you can see from the title, we will be sharing 6 tips after being married for 6 years. So we've been married for 6 years, which we celebrated last month. No, the month before that, the end of September. I still can't believe it's been 6 years. I feel like it's been forever.
Yep,
for 6
12.
years.
Slave. Guys,
he's always joking.
Full of banter. It's just like, you know what? Life is short, man. Just
he's so annoying. Guys, he's so annoying. That's one of the 6 of them that is so annoying. So around that time, a lot of people messaged me and was just like, oh, do you have any tips for like marriage and things like that? Because obviously we got married young and now we're like 6 years in and we're still very happy.
So very happy.
Yeah, we have our days where I just want to and there's days that I just want to
whoa. That was good. Been a long nice day. A long nice day. 6 years in.
They're just so annoying. Can you just stop?
Okay, cool.
Right. Anyway, guys, let's start with advice number 1. Joke, guys. James is on one today. James on one. So, right, James, you're gonna start this one.
Tip number 1.
We haven't even written this down, guys. We're literally just gonna say as it comes to mind. We're gonna think of the 6 things that we have learned over time, and 6 advice or 6 tips.
Tip number 1: marry your best friend that you find so sexy.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Just come.
I thought you were giving a tip.
No, you gotta talk. You gotta say why. You gotta like.
Come on, it's self-explanatory. You know, marry your best friend, someone who you really get along with, that you can really talk to, you can connect in a certain way, in a much deeper way than just the physical. Physical is important. You gotta find a person attractive because, you know, that is something very important because, you know, beauty does fade, as you can see with my head, and she still looks young and beautiful. But
you know you had to watch that one. You know you had to be careful what you're gonna say. I don't know what James is saying, guys, but for myself, I have heard a lot of times girls say, oh, you know, he's my best friend and stuff, but a lot of the times I've heard that people say that they are, but are they really actually your best friend? Like, you know, some people say, oh yeah, I married my best friend, but there's like
cat and dog.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So
cat and dog cannot be your friends, you know.
So really get to know that person, and if you first see that person as a friend, a really good friend that you guys get along, you feel open towards that person, that person is open to you, that person is transparent to you, you're also transparent to them, you feel comfortable around them, you don't feel like they're going to judge you, you don't feel like they're looking at you a certain way. That person has to be the first person that you talk to, the first person that you go to for advice, the first person that you call if anything happens, kind of thing. You're going to be living with this person every single day of your life. You're going to be living
Mamma mia.
You can believe this person every single day of your life. You're going to be living with them whilst you go through ups and downs, good times, bad times.
Up.
Good times, bad times, transitioning times, literally through everything. So you have to be able to, you and that person have to have such a strong foundation, and that foundation doesn't just come from marriage, it comes first from friendship.
Yeah, for me, I think, look, you probably hear it a lot, it's not about looks and stuff like that. For me, it does play a bit of a part, if I be honest. You want to find someone that you do find attractive, but the most important thing is that you have like a deep connection in regards to your personalities, and in regards to what you like, your faith system, your belief system. I think that plays a big part. If you're an atheist and a Muslim,
it's just going to be tricky.
It's going to be a bit mad, you know, if you're a Christian and
we're not saying it's not possible, but it's just going to be tricky.
It's going to be very tricky. So, you know, I think in a lot of areas, from your faith to the way you are with your family, the way, if you're a family person, if you care about your mum and everything like that, and the person isn't a family person,
there's so many
that's going to cause a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I reckon as well. So you need a best friend who is very respectful for who you are as a person. So guys, tip number 1, marry your best friend who you find extremely attractive.
Not extremely attractive, you just have to be attracted to that person.
Yeah.
I prefer to choose someone that I'm extremely attracted to.
Me too.
But if you want to, that's up to you. Tip and advice number 2. Marriage is not a competition.
Real?
That is one thing that I want all the married people to know. Marriage isn't a competition.
And everyone has their own seasons.
Yes, everyone has their own seasons, and there is a time for everything. That's individually and also definitely in a marriage. Nowadays, famous people or people on social media, of course, they share ups in their life, great achievements, which me and Jane, we love to see people winning, hitting their goals, achieving things, great things happening for them. Like, it makes us so happy to see people winning like that. But at the same time, we always want to make sure we stay in our lane. Not stay in our lane in the sense of not going for what we want, but not looking at them and be like, oh, like wishing what they have, or comparing our marriage to their marriage, because
that's what destroys your marriage, if I be really honest.
That's what destroys your marriage,
and
because you start questioning your own, just because you're comparing yourself to others, if that makes sense.
It's about just enjoying what you have, like, and we've got into a culture where everyone is, of course, it's great to strive and want this, that, it's needed, but at the same time, I live by this motto: if I have, amen. If I don't have, amen. And like, because I'm not so attached to material things, my life is blessed all the time. Like, I'm haps. I'm always happy. And you know, those who know us personally, when I had my whole surgery, it was peak. We were literally, I was out of work.
It was difficult.
I couldn't really talk properly.
One day we'll share in depth, like, because we've been really low, with external things, which was difficult in our marriage. But now we're on a high. We're doing really well. Things are looking great for us.
Definitely.
And there's a time for everything. So there is a time you're going to have to grind as a couple. There is a time when you're not going to be able to go out that much, or your focus is somewhere else, so you're just prioritizing. But it's not for you to look at other marriages and start comparing yours. So I want you, if you're married or you're thinking to get married, to know that there is going to be a time for you and your husband to be breaking through, to doing great things. But there's also going to be that time when things can happen. Bad news can happen. James was sick. There were times James lost his job. I lost my job. Then James lost his job. Then I lost my job again. Like, there's been so many times when there was difficult times, but we got through them, if that makes sense. So also, don't think that marriage is perfect, that it's going to be sweet all the way through. There are going to be difficult times, but those difficult times, don't look at others and wish, you know, oh, what, we're not there yet. You'll see people having children. You'll see people buying houses. You see people traveling all over the world. You'll see people getting promotions. Be happy for them, because your time will always come.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
And remember as well in life, if you want life to go rosy for the rest of your life, it's not gonna happen, number 1. No. But if you go for a mad period of time of just ups, when you hit 20 years or 30 years and you go through a mad serious problem, you can't handle it. You won't be able to handle it. So you need hardships, you need to go through lows, you need to go through challenges, you need to go through this. If not, you won't be able to hack it. That's real. Tip
number 3, I would say, is communication. Communication, I'm going to try and explain it in a different way, because a lot of people say communication, like, for the sake of communication. But communication is in so many different ways. Like, I just feel like it's not just talking to your partner. It's communicating your feelings, could be through your body language, through your actions, through your words, but communicating it. Not just keep it to yourself, not just and the thing is, you can do it in different times. Like, the other day I was just really upset about something, and the way that I communicated it wasn't, James, this is how I feel, or whatever. I was just in the mood. James asked me what's wrong, and I just cried a little bit, and then that was how it kind of came out. Do you know what I mean? But I communicated it to him, but he also kind of understood that when he was trying to get it out of me, it wasn't working for him to say, oh, like, what's wrong, because it just wasn't working, if that makes sense. And he had to understand that. So it's to communicate and to also understand how your partner communicates, if that makes sense. Because sometimes if he wants to resolve something and I'm not ready to talk about it, or the other way around, I have to understand that, but yet he also has to still communicate that to me, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Do you know what I mean, James? Can you try and help?
Yeah, it's a little bit complex what she's saying. I think personally, yeah. I think, yeah, just be open. Just be open and be real. If you're going through something, don't try to bottle it all up and keep it to yourself. Yeah. Just communicate and say, look, this is how I'm feeling. And I think as well, another thing with that is, there has to be an element of not being so like emotional or taking things the wrong way. And sometimes I remember that situation when you were crying over things, and for me it's like I'm trying to get this out of the habit of like looking too deep into things. Yeah. Like you're blessed.
But then this is also when I say to him about communication and understanding. So this is where we both go back and forth, but that is compromising and understanding your partner, because James is very rational like that. And then sometimes I'm like, James, but you won't have to understand. That is just how I'm feeling. And he understood that is that's his mindset, but he also had to understand that is how I'm feeling. And Desi, you know, I don't want you to feel this way. So there is that element of, the good thing about our relationship is that James will say, you need to be like you, and I hear it. But he also has to hear, this is how I'm feeling, this is how I react to it, and then we both have to be like, okay, we can't just be like, how you're doing it is wrong, how you're talking to me is wrong, how you're dealing with it is wrong. We have to both communicate and understand each other and come to like a understanding, if that makes sense.
This leads on to the next one, number 4.
Yes.
And for me, living in your feelings. Like, you've got to get rid of that.
Yes.
Like, when you're in a marriage,
or taking things personal.
Taking them personally, living in your feelings.
Yeah, he does something and I don't want to talk to him for days. And
like, you know, I'm not talking to you for a month, for 2 months. Like, that's nuts. Like, if you're living in your feelings that way, like, girl, boy, whoever you are,
listen,
like real.
This is
really?
one thing that we've learned in these 6 years. Let things go. So that's what's gonna be. Let things go. It's not that deep. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes in marriages, people can blow things out of proportion more than it is. Like, it's really, really, really not that deep. Of course, you upset me, you said something that I didn't like, or you did something that I didn't like, but it's not that deep to cause you guys not to be talking for days, kind of thing. I've learned over the 6 years is that I could avoid so many things, like years ago, if I had just not taken it personal, or if I just took it too, like I just reacted too emotional to it, which has just affected the mood in the house, for example. So we've kind of got this thing of, we just try not to take things personal. Like, if he's done something and he's upset me, even if he hasn't apologized, we just try to sort, like, I try to act like, I don't know, we just make up. We just make up.
Just get on with it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not even just for your marriage, it's just a life lesson.
So number 5 is have fun. Guys, I can't express how important it is to have fun when you're married.
Live life, man.
Honestly live your life.
Enjoyment.
Have fun, make memories, spend time together, quality time together, do fun things together, learn things together. I just feel like marriage shouldn't be so focused on how serious life can be. Like, your plans, like, we have to achieve this, oh, we've got to fulfill this by the end of the year, or we've got to save this much by the end of the year. Have fun. Like, of course, do those things.
You need to do that, but you need to have balance. We're not saying don't do that. That is very important, and you must do all of these things.
James is more, that's like James. That's all James.
But you need to have, like, a balance, because, honestly, I don't know, maybe because of my personal experience, I've experienced where my head's been down, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and literally life, bang, gone. Everything can, in a blink of an eye, be taken. And honestly,
it made us both really think, it made us both really value life with each other more than just having a serious life, saving, building for our future plans. Whereas you just don't know, anything can happen. God forbid.
God forbid, imagine.
But imagine if he didn't survive. Imagine if things went wrong in the surgery, he wouldn't be here.
Imagine, look, I'm trying to give you a scenario. You're working like a mad horse, you're stacking, you're doing a lot of stuff.
Maybe you just got married and you're doing
You're not living life, and you just head down and bam, 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 and you get a stroke. And now you're not like the same person anymore. You can't walk properly, and then guess what?
God forbid.
God forbid. I'm not saying I hope that never happens to you. But then you be like, man, like if I had just taken life a bit more easier, had more fun, more just relaxed when I needed to relax, I wouldn't be in this predicament. And look, I personally put it, my whole surgery and what I went through, I personally put it down to a period in my life where I was working hard. I was going to work early in the morning, staying late at night. I was cycling to work. I was running to work. I was doing 8% of the wedding. I was under stress. My job was on the line every day. I was in this furnace like daily.
And that's when
something just triggered. And that's the reason why since then, of course,
we take time to relax, to enjoy ourselves. Do not push ourselves too far. But also we work hard, kind of thing. It's like having the balance. So our advice, after being married for 6 years, what has been key for us is working hard. Like working hard. And we were now seeing the fruits of our hard work. But as well as working hard, we have fun. So sometimes if we're saying, oh, we're only going to spend, like, for example, we have budgets where we spend like monthly or weekly. Sometimes let's forget about that budget. Let's go out to eat. Do you know what I mean? Oh, let's just go and play crazy golf. Oh, let's just go and let's just go and watch a movie. I'm not saying you have to go out all the time. And sometimes you think you go places, you don't even have to spend money. Sometimes we've gone to the museum, we've gone to look at the portrait in the gallery. In the summer, we go for walks, we go to the park, we get some things from the shop and we go and have a picnic. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to spend money all the time. It's just to have fun together. Because I feel like sometimes marriage could be so focusing on bills, focusing on paying for the mortgage, saving for a mortgage, having a certain amount of savings by the age of 35. Like these certain things that a lot of people aim for, which is good, but I feel like some marriages make that the priority, when time is so important with your spouse, because you just don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for. James doesn't know how long I'm going to be here for. And the time that we are here together on earth together, we have to make sure that we're spending that time together. Not just always conversations talking about bills, talking about, oh, we need to do this, oh, we need to do this, oh, we need to plan this, or we need to be strict.
Because and the reason is because if you're going to do that for a long period of time, you're slowly going to start drifting away. Yes,
I was just about to say that.
You're going to get really annoyed. It's like it's just a dead life. Yeah. It's like a dead life, and then this person's becoming annoying, and by the time you know it, you would be the multi-millionaire, and then you wouldn't even love each other anymore. Yeah,
because your relationship was based on those physical external things. And I think sometimes if marriages become like that, you don't even talk anymore, because that's when you talk. You only talk about those things, about your plans, about this. Oh, this isn't working, let's do this. And then you think, what happened to that friendship? Like building that friendship. And I feel like you only build that friendship during fun times and moments and sharing memories and stuff. And you don't want every conversation to always be like, oh, we can't do this, or we can't do this, we can't do this. I just think that yes, we should save, yes, we should make sure that we're hitting goals, but also have fun. Yes, book a holiday, like go on holiday. I feel like it's so important for couples to get away. It doesn't have to be on the other side of the world. It could be in London. It could be in a hotel in London. It could be outside London. We've gone Bournemouth a few times. We've been
somewhere like Spain or France, because
and it's so cheap.
It's cheap. Yeah, you probably spend less money going to France and Spain than you would be in London.
Even here. And sometimes I find that when couples are so focused on those things, they become stressed. So the husband becomes stressed and the wife becomes stressed and tense. So because they're just so like work, money, their mood, their persona, like around the house and stuff, is just serious. There's not like the fun. Like yesterday we came home and then I was on my laptop doing some work and stuff, and I was like, James, can we go to Nando's? Like, let's go to Nando's. And we went to Nando's and we had such a great time. We had such a laugh, and that wasn't planned. We even said like, we're gonna start, we've got plans and stuff we want to do, so we're gonna try and be a little bit more strict than we usually are. But then at the same time, some days throw it out the window and have fun.
Definitely.
Do you know what I mean?
Number 6.
And the last one, oh my gosh, I'm on 6 already. Oh. Right, and number 6, I would say, is
be selfless.
I was gonna say submissive. We're on the same line. Being selfless. So I would say what I take that for myself before James does. I think being selfless is really saying to yourself, it's not about you, babe. Like to yourself, it's not about you. It's more about him. It's about you, but it's more about the other person. And if you both say that towards each other, you are winning, because you know that I know that James does that for me and I do that for him. Like there's times when when I tell you I know I'm right. I know I was right in the argument.
I'm gonna be really honest with you.
And then I've come to James and
I'll be real honest with you.
I'm sorry. And that just squashes everything.
But he wasn't right. That's the honest truth.
And he still thinks he was right. I mean, he still thinks he was right. But it's things like that. It's just simple things like that. Instead of being like, no, I'm right, and he thinks he's right. Oh, we're not talking then.
And same. There's times where I know Des is completely wrong. You know, her head's out of the game. She's just in her emotions. And I'm like, it's alright, Des, you know, yeah, I understand. I put the arm over the hand, you know what I'm saying? So.
And do you know what I mean? And I just think being selfish is just thinking about the other person first. So some people are always like, I want this, I think this, or this is the way that I was raised, this is the way that I think, this is the way that my character is, this is the way that this is me, this is how I am. Listen,
that's it.
Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. If you are someone that says, this is me, this is how I am, this is my personality, if you don't like it, then whatever. Then Felicia, marriage is gonna be difficult for you.
Bruv, she ain't even getting married. That's the thing.
No, you're getting married, but you're not gonna.
Most guys won't be married.
You cannot break that pride. In marriage, that needs to go out the window. You need to find a key for that window, and you need to lock that window and never open it again.
Yeah, honestly.
So like, literally,
you may get married, but
talk.
then trust me, your marriage is gonna be so dead.
Yeah.
And your husband's gonna get frustrated, and then.
So yeah, if your husband is saying to you, there's certain things about yourself that you need to change. If your wife is saying to you, these are traits that I've noticed over the weeks since being married, over the years of being married, and you're still like, this is me, this is how I am, this is my personality. You're not being selfless. You're putting yourself before your partner.
And marriage is not for you.
And marriage is not for you. And that is the secret the secret is putting him first, if that makes sense. So yeah, so to wrap it up, number 1, friendship.
If you marry someone that you find so attractive.
And is your best friend.
Who's your best friend?
Like,
you click.
The thing is, one thing I have to say before we wrap up everything else, you know when you know that you could be open towards someone, you know yourself. You could try and front if whatever, but you know yourself. So don't feel like you have to fake it. If you have to fake it, babe, like, you don't have to. Like, you don't have to, because this is for life. And I'm telling you, someone is out there for you. Do not force it.
And also as well, one more thing as well, you can tell if the person's the one for you, because you will look, you say, you know what, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person. I can see myself getting old with the person. If you can't see yourself getting old,
do not force it as well. Yes, it's true. If you just feel like, oh, he's going to change after marriage, or, you know, he does that, but he's still, no. There's no comparison. Listen, Linda, because it's like,
if there's a Linda watching this, it's not a personal dig at you.
But the thing is,
Felicia.
I think the reason why I'm so passionate about it is because I've been with James since 2011. It's 2019. And over the time, we have been through a lot. And I have learnt to understand that if we didn't put these tips into place, we wouldn't be here today, if that makes sense. So this is not just us blabbering on and just, you know, this is actual advice from something that has worked for us. And it's just, do you know what I mean? It's just advice that has worked for us, because that's the truth. We've learnt these things, that it's so important to have a friendship. Number 2, what was number 2? Marriage isn't a competition. Stay in your lane, have plans for your marriage, don't worry about what everyone else is doing. Focus on your life and where you want your marriage to go. And
enjoy what you have.
Yes.
Like, learn to get to the point where you are happy with your life, with what you have, and be thankful.
Don't stop or press pause on your life because someone's done that. So you're like, okay, no, we need to go do it now. So from now on, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do this, and we're going to make sure we're going to achieve that. No, babe,
you see, look, I'll be real. You see a lot of people, they may go on mad holidays, they may have nice cars, all this stuff.
But you never know.
Deep down, they're probably unhappy, a lot of them.
You never know.
You never know, like, So don't watch someone, because you know you hear the mad stories with the famous people where they got everything. They got peas. They're both beautiful.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work. Like, so yeah.
Yeah, and then number 3.
I've got a very short-term memory.
We both have very bad and I was saying that to
we
James
should have
the other
written
day.
that down.
And I said James, I have bad short-term memory. So 1 is friendship.
Yep.
2 is no
stay in
competition.
your own lane.
Yeah, stay in your own lane. No
and 3,
competition.
don't be in your feelings.
No, that was not.
No, communication.
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 Communication is key. Don't be scared to communicate anything to your partner. Anything, because the more that you keep things in, you're slowly building the barrier between them. Number 4,
don't be in your feelings.
Yes, don't be too emotional. Was that number 4?
Yeah, the next one.
Yeah, not too emotional. 5 is what we just spoke about.
The one before.
Fun.
Having fun, living the best life, living a good life.
As well as,
you know, as well as, of course,
building for your future.
Investing, saving, doing your thing, building, get your house, get your car.
Yeah.
Get your multiple houses, cars, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Get it.
But
make sure you have a lot of fun and enjoy the process.
Don't just say for 10 years we're going to work hard, and then 10 years after I'm going to enjoy. Who said you're going to make it for the first 10 years?
Yeah. And
number 6.
And then number 6, yeah. Number 6 is the final one.
We just said it. Selfless. Be selfless.
It's not about you, Felicia.
It's not about you, Felicia. That's what you have to say to yourself. It's not about Felicia. But yeah, and that's it, guys. So sorry for the lengthy video. We did try to be quick, but we're really passionate about this one. If there's any other kind of videos you would like to see from me and James, then just let us know, and we'll see you guys in our next video.
Bye bye.